So, let's get started here. One of the things that two-point perspective is really good for is doing interiors of spaces so that you can do a representation for someone of what a room is going to look like, or a wall mural if you were having to do it and you wanted to show them what it looked like in space in perspective. So in order to do that, first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to establish, say, the back corner of a room. I'm going to kind of draw it a little off center here, and I'm going to go over here. Because let's say that I want to showcase more of what's going on the left side of my drawing. So I'm going to put my one vanishing point over here, and I'm going to put my other vanishing point like way over here. Now, if you remember correctly, there is one of the important factors in perspective drawing is being able to measure things, being able to figure out exactly where something might be. In this particular case, I'm orienting this wall so that there is about 2/3 of it below the horizon line and 1/3 of it above. You can probably see that. Because that's more the way people see rooms. If you think about it, rooms are usually about 8 feet tall, and there's more of it above your head height, or less of it above your head height than is below your head height. And you don't want to draw something that's going to be, now see, I've got the back corner of a room here, and what you don't want to do is you don't want to draw something when you're trying to orient someone to some interior space from like a worm's eye or a bird's eye perspective. You want it to be kind of like at normal head height for a person. Alright, so the way, remember, of course, is to divide up your wall, and we want to divide it up into 8 feet. So to do that, you begin by bisecting the space. Now what I'm creating here is an underlay, and we're going to probably put a drawing piece of paper over the top of that into which we can trace things through. And so what we're creating here is kind of a grid. Now you remember, in order to find the center of a cube, you bisect again. Now, I'm drawing these lines fairly light. I hope you can see them okay. And what I'm going to do now is come back to here. Now, these lines are going to begin to represent 1 foot marks. I hope. In theory, that's what it'll do. So what I want to do now is I want to come down here and figure out where the next wall section is going to be. So it's almost parallel to that one. I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to bisect this cube. You can see there's a square right there. I'm going to bisect that one, and I'm just going to keep dividing up these spaces until I get about 5 or 6 of them below the horizon line and 2 or 3 above. So that will hopefully get us to where we want to be. So I'm going to come down here and find my next batch of cubes out. So 1, 2, 3. And now I'm going to do the same thing here and come up to the next one's down here. So these are pretty equal. 1, 2, 3, 4. What I want to do is continue to divide these spaces so that I end up with equal increments. I need to do the same thing on the opposite wall down here. So I'm going to bisect this wall like so. Now a lot of this stuff is the same kind of stuff that you can do for yourself in Illustrator now, because of the fact that they've got those wonderful drawing grids in there. The problem is managing to get one printed out in a size and a scale that will actually make sense for you. And you can't always rely on being able to do that. Sometimes you got to create your own on the piece of paper that you've got, just like this one here. So what I want to do now is bisect this one right here. Come over from the, bring that up to there, touch it here. And of course you can see that I'm able to put another one there because of where this line ended up bisecting. So I've got like 4 spaces off this way. I'm not trusting where this one's locating, although it looks like it's going to end up, yeah, it's supposed to be, well, no, it's actually supposed to be here. So I'm going to try. It's actually supposed to be like right there. Didn't have that case over here, which is strange. But anyway, yeah, I'm just going to shut up here for a while, and you can watch me continue to bisect these spaces. Okay, so let's just say that this is an 8-foot wall. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 below and 1, 2, 3 above, which is about normal. A person drawn into space would be a little bit above 5 feet. So let's say, for instance, we're going to orient a person in the room, and they're going to be standing right about there when we get done making this drawing. So that person, of course, it will be somewhere in here. So you can plot out where that person is and draw a 6-foot person right here. And you can figure out where his head's going to be by coming over here and going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's about right about there. I think that line's down a little too far right here. I think this one should probably be right here. There we go. So we'll come out from this vanishing point to where it touches that thing right there. And that means that this guy's head is going to be right about there, the top of his head. So what I usually do is I usually just dummy in somebody. I'll do a more accurate drawing of what he looks like later on, but for right now I'm just using this as kind of a placeholder. So this is what the guy's going to look like, or it's going to be about that height when I put him in there. And hopefully you won't be blocking anything important in my drawing. Otherwise I'll have to move him. But I know how to draw him and how high to make him. So you can see there's a 6-foot guy standing in a space with an 8-foot wall. If there were details about the wall, beams or something that went across the wall, or if I needed to measure something, of course I've already got my grid set up, so I can just keep, plotting lines out onto the ceiling whenever I need to. So you can kind of see how the space begins to lay out. We used to do these quite often because we had to draw back wall exhibits, and we had to show people, well, here's a 15-foot wall and it's 10 feet deep, and your stuff fits in there, and so it'd kind of give them an idea of what it would look like before we actually built it. Anyway, I hope that this helps. I will be visiting you again soon with the same underlay drawing, and we'll be doing a more detailed sketch over the top of it. All for now, and I will see you guys in the next video.